Hello everyone. Oh man, it's finally 2020 and it's been a crazy year. 2019 was for me and for the channel. The channel has grown in ways that I definitely never would have imagined, and it's only possible because of you guys, the people that watch my videos. I started making Tekken content around January of 2019, and it's something I did as a passion because I actually really do enjoy the game, and I ended up just making content for it. I made a couple of videos, and then after that I took a long hiatus from the game, which is why there's actually a long break in between my uploads. I've uploaded how many videos have I uploaded? So I've uploaded 34 videos this year, and I'm not happy with all of them, but I'm glad I made them because it's helped the channel grow a lot. So if I look at my uploads, I uploaded like 4 videos, and then I took like a 5-month break. Yeah, so that was a bit iffy, but within those 5 months that I took that break and I came back, the channel grew a lot more than I remembered. So it's been crazy. I think when I started making Tekken content, I had about 200-ish subs, and now I have about, let me check, I have 4.4 thousand. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think 2019's been pretty insane because 2018 was one of the lowest years of my life, I would say. I was going through a lot and I didn't really enjoy my year, and it kind of carried over into the start of 2019. But the last few months for me have also been the happiest of my life, the last few months of 2019, which is why I really enjoyed the year even though I didn't have a great start. So I just want to thank you guys. It really is because of all of you that watch my videos. I don't think I make exceptionally good content. There's so many other content creators that do amazing videos. Peter Y. Mao, Massive Zug, Tekken Engineer. These guys make great videos too. And I'm not the only content creator out there, and there are a lot of other obscure content creators. Kilo makes great videos too. But yeah, I'll link all of the channels in the description if you want to check them out. But I'm really happy that the channel has grown to what it is, even though 4.4k doesn't sound like a huge number, because it's not. When you put that in perspective, having that amount of people watching your videos is pretty crazy, and I definitely am very grateful to all of you for watching my videos. So I actually promised a little Q&A. I only have a few questions here, so I'll just answer them. It's not a lot, but let's try and get through them. So Xavier asks, favorite color and number. I don't have a favorite number, I would say. If you want me to name a favorite number from 1 to 9, or 1 to 10, I'd say 9. For favorite color, it used to be green, and I would say now it's maybe like a turquoise or like a teal kind of color. I think I really like that color. I think the main reason I like it is because of Hatsune Miku, to be honest. But yeah. Where'd you came from? I don't quite understand the question. If you're asking where I'm from, born and raised in Singapore, never studied overseas. I've studied here my whole life. I've lived here my whole life. I've traveled a lot, but yeah, I've basically been here my entire life. Naughty Dog asks, favorite character. So the thing is, I actually don't really like a lot of Tekken's characters. I think most of them are kind of meh. So it's hard to say. I would probably say Devil Jin. I really like Devil Jin. I think he's cool. Devil Jin's pretty dope. In a tournament, can you use an arcade stick, or can you also use a controller? I can't really afford an arcade stick because the decent ones are too expensive for me. No, you absolutely use a pad if you really want to. Arcade sticks are not compulsory. You don't have to use an arcade stick. I use one because I started playing in the arcades and I'm used to it, but you can use a pad if you need to. I would say the people that buy arcade sticks are the people that like the actual arcade sticks. Most people don't buy it for the functionality nowadays. People just like the feel of an arcade stick. And for me, it's just because I'm used to it. And for a lot of players, it's because they're used to it, which is why we use arcade sticks. But no, you can use a pad if you want to. Is that picture/color on the stick also part of the modding? Looks beautiful. So for context, I shared an image of my arcade stick that I recently modded. This is the arcade stick. Let's see if you can see it. Yep, you can see it. Yeah, this is the arcade stick. If you're wondering what it is, it's a Razer Panthera Evo that I changed the artwork. Yes, the artwork is new, and the stick is also new. I changed it's still a Sanwa. It's not a Korean lever. I think some people thought it was a Korean lever. It's not a Korean lever. The main reason I didn't get a Korean lever is because it's hard to fit one in a Panthera Evo, and the only one that would fit was a golden lever, and I can't really get that because it's so expensive. The bat top is the metal bat top, and the dust washer is also metal as well, and I changed the spring of the stick on the inside to a 2-pound spring because the stock spring is, I don't know where it is right now, but it's really light, so I didn't really like it. So I wanted a tighter spring so it feels a bit better. And I'm actually used to ball tops, and I'm still not used to the bat top, so in case I couldn't get used to it, I also bought myself a metal ball top. I thought that would be interesting. So I got a few questions on the sticks, so I'll just answer them all here. But yeah, anyways, Razer Panthera Evo, artwork changed, spring changed, dust washers changed, and the top changed. That's about it for the stick. I'm a keyboard player and I really look forward to either buying a mixed box or mechanical keyboard. The thing is, a mechanical keyboard is easily available here in India, but a mixed box isn't and is a bit costly as well. So I want to ask, is the mixed box really worth or mechanical keyboard would do? So I have actually played on keyboard, and when I'm bored I would play on keyboard, and I actually really like the feel of a keyboard, weirdly. The thing I don't like about the keyboard is because there are so many keys for your actual 1, 2, 3, 4 inputs around you that it's easy to misclick sometimes, for me at least. I know you can get over it, but yeah. For me, I actually really like keyboard, and I think if you're using a keyboard, it's totally fine. The only problem is that most tournaments are played on PS4, so if you intend to go to any tournaments, you need to buy a converter for keyboard to PS4. But yeah, I think it's okay. I think if you can, the mixed box is a really good option, but it's absolutely not necessary. You can get just the keyboard and you'll be totally fine. I do like the mixed box though. I really want to get one, but it's kinda expensive. Will you be covering 2D games? Although Tekken's already a big plate to cover. So the only other 2D fighters that I've played are Street Fighter 4 and Injustice 2. I didn't play much of Street Fighter 4 because I only played it in the arcades for like a little bit. As for Injustice 2, I hated it. So I currently don't have any plans. I'm not a fan of 2D fighters, but there is one game I would like to try, which is the upcoming Riot, whatever fighting game they have. It looks pretty interesting. I would try it. I definitely will give it a shot when it comes out. If I don't like it, I don't like it, but I will give it a shot. I would like to try the game out. You know, it's cool. Hey, can you do a full breakdown of Geese, please? It would be much appreciated. Thank you. No. Please do a Leroy tutorial. No. Okay, let me actually answer the question. Do you think stick is the only way of getting good in Tekken? Hell no. Can it be done with a DualShock 4? Yes. What are the pros and cons of both? So I get this question a lot, whether you should get a pad or a stick. Like I said, the only reason someone would use one over the other is just because it's what you're used to. So for me, a stick is what I use in the arcades, which is how I started playing Tekken. Which is also why I use a stick today. But if I didn't, I might be using a pad or a keyboard or whatever nonsense it would be. So if you start on a pad, I think the main disadvantages would be, I think it's harder to get used to moving with your thumb rather than your whole hand. But I think that's a thing that you can get used to, and you eventually close the gap between using a stick and using a pad. I do have a couple of friends who prefer pads over sticks in my offline Tekken community. They just can't get used to sticks. So if you can't get used to stick, you have to use a pad. So no, stick is absolutely not the only way to go. You can use a pad, that's totally fine. You want to use a keyboard, it's also totally fine. If you want to use a mix box or a hitbox, whatever, that's fine too. It doesn't matter. So YelG asks 3 questions. How old are you? How long have you been playing Tekken? When do you start playing it professionally? So first off, I am currently 18 and I will be 19 this year in 2020. I'm born in October, so if anyone cares, that's when I'm born. How long have you been playing Tekken? I've been playing it for about a little less than 2 years, but I've only been playing it seriously for about roughly a year, which is about when I started making content about it. When do you start playing it professionally? I don't play it professionally. Do I look like I have a sponsor? I don't have a sponsor, bro. I'm not good enough. I'm really not good enough. Like, I'm not that good of a player. I'm good enough that I can make content on it and teach people stuff, but I'm not good enough to the point where I can play it professionally. I'm never gonna play it professionally. Being a pro player is a hard life, so no, I don't play it professionally. I get a lot of arcade stick questions, huh? Are these arcade sticks useful and how much do they cost? Cause I'm new to Tekken and I'm struggling a lot and can't seem to win. Got the game 2 days ago, any advice? So first off, and he says he plays Dragunov. First off, arcade sticks aren't really inherently more useful than any other peripheral, I would say. That's the first thing I would say. How much did they cost? A lot of them are around the $200 US mark. So in my currency, that Pantera Evo would be about 300 Singapore dollars. So it's about $200 US if I'm not wrong. Expensive. They're expensive. I'm new to Tekken and I'm struggling a lot and can't seem to win. So you've only been playing the game for about 2 days. So losing is going to happen a lot. It's gonna happen for months before you even start getting like your first consecutive wins. So don't worry about it. Take your time. You really do need to take time because the game has so much to learn. Losing is going to be very common, and unfortunately, it's just something you have to get used to happening. You shouldn't feel too bad about it, but you also shouldn't feel like I'm just gonna lose because I'm just a new player. You have to learn. So use Dragunov. I would say Dragunov's combos for the most part are not super hard to do, so I think execution's probably not a problem. I would say work on your movement, I guess. Try to learn to backdash and to sidestep. I'm trying to sidestep a bit more. It's a barrier that a lot of new players can't get over, sidestepping. So yeah, I mean, Dragunov, yeah, there's not much to remember about Dragunov. So yeah, it's really a lot on fundamentals at that point. So yeah. Nermin asks, first of all, thanks to you, I learned Kazumi amazingly good. Thank you for watching the Kazumi guide. That was really long ago. That was super long ago. The question is, what's the difference you see between a 2D and 3D fighting game? And I don't mean like a simple answer. Like, where do you see the biggest skill gap? Which do you prefer, a 2D or 3D fighter? So I'll answer the last question first. I prefer a 3D fighter, which is why I play Tekken. And unfortunately, Tekken's like the only good 3D fighting game out there. DOA kind of sucks, and Virtuafied is dead. So Tekken's the only fighting game I can play. So a difference between a 2D and 3D fighting game the biggest differences would obviously be in the movement. Because in a 2D fighting game, you can jump, you can air dash, you have, I guess, overheads. You have overheads instead of just high, mid, low, and you don't have your backdash is like super different as well. Whereas in a 3D fighting game, you can't really jump. Jump is not very recommended. You don't have your air dashes, you don't have your meter, like the super stuff, except for the 2D characters, obviously. But yeah, I would say a 3D fighter feels a lot more grounded in reality than a 2D fighter would be, because you have all the dimensions of movement. So it feels more like a more realistic approach to a fighting game than a 2D fighter would, because a 2D fighter, it seems like everyone's just jumping and flailing around. As for the skill gap, I don't think there's an inherent skill gap between either one. I think all fighting games are hard, especially to play at the highest level, and I don't think any of them are easier than the other for me, I would say. I know a lot of people say like, oh, this game is easy, oh, this game is easy, this game's hard. I think they're all hard, man. All fighting games are hard for me, so that's how it is. Aeon Genesis asks, what did you feel when you started to play Tekken seriously? How did you overcome some difficulties that need to learn a lot of information? Was there any tilt, anger? And how did you manage to continue no matter what, if so? I can't even remember when I first started taking Tekken seriously. It was a really long time ago. By really long, I mean like a year ago. But yeah, there were a lot of difficulties for sure. I think when I first started to lab a matchup, which was probably like against Lisa or something, it was really hard because I had to remember all of this information. The game doesn't really help me that much, and I had to do all this testing by myself. And then I thought about it, and I was like, I have to do this for all the characters I don't want to play against. So it was really a tough time, and I was struggling a lot. And yeah, it's a lot of information to take in as a new player, and especially if you're starting to take the game seriously, you have to learn a lot of these things, which is really hard, and it's a lot to take in. So I would say for any way to get over it, you just have to be patient. I think patience is key, because a lot of the people that drop the game are the people that don't have the time to get good at it, so they ended up not being able to continue playing the game, and that's why they stopped playing. Was there any tilt and anger? Absolutely. I used to be the kind of player that would be really angry and salty. I would never really show it, especially if there's people around me. I would never show it, but if I'm playing by myself, I get a lot more salty, which is a big issue. I don't really get as salty anymore. In fact, I'm pretty calm when I play. But yeah, there absolutely was a lot of anger. I used to key charge. Now I don't key charge at all. But yeah, there was a point in time when I used to key charge. So I was that online player, you know. Even though I wasn't very toxic online, I would say. I key charge, but I never played like a garbage play style, and I never had bad internet. So yeah. Alright. Thank you for all your questions. For those that I didn't answer in the video, I'll just answer straight in the community post so that you still get your answer anyways. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I think it's been really fun. Hopefully 2020 will be pretty good as well. But yeah, hopefully I can crank out a bit more content than I did this year. But yes, thanks all for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.